Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence. I'm Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Umber Lake, and you guessed it. It's a new entry into our Umber series. Isn't that great? Yay! Well, yep, some of you are digging the Umber. Sometimes the numbers aren't as good on the Umber, but well, that's what I got to share today, and I always just kind of share what's going on. So sorry, I'm looking around for my composition of outdoor painting, and I'm not seeing it. It looks like, oh, here it is. I am going to read from that, probably around the 6-minute mark when we lose a lot of people anyway. So, and why are we losing you? Why? I don't know. I do know. You know. You've got something you're looking for, right? You know, probably if you're a painter, you're looking for tips and insights that are going to be, you know, edifying and educating and going to make you a better painter, I would think. Or you might just be looking for entertainment. And I've always considered that, actually. I do file myself under the education column, and I did see a bump in views from that, but I really consider this more entertainment with some insights, you know, like say you're watching like Lord of the Rings, you maybe get some insights about the nature of humanity or that kind of thing. It's like that with painting, except a little more focused, especially say in the last year and a half or so. Since I went back to the 15-minute format, I do try to provide value. Oh, let's see if we can give you some value here. So you see what I'm doing? I'm doing a drawing on a bit of hardboard, in the States known as masonite. It has been primed with 2 coats of transparent gesso, so don't think I'm painting on the raw board, even though it's exactly masonite color. Yeah. I like that color. Lately I've been playing around with tinting it and getting some good results. The color I'm painting in with right now, it appears to be umber, just plain raw umber, and to me it looks like this painting is comprised of raw umber. I'm thinking raw sienna and white and Mars black. I'm not absolutely positive, and to be positive I would have to reference the live video, because I did it a while back. I did it back in February 20th to be precise. So, yeah, sorry about that. But if you're really curious, tip on over to the live area. It's a pretty modest amount of do, re, mi. And you can tip in, tip out, you know, join for a month, exit, come back. People do that. It's all good. The live video of this is about an hour and 16 minutes or so not a major commitment, which is one of the reasons why I was into these Umber series. I had just got a puppy. And then right after that, my old dog got extremely ill, so I has since, you know, passed away, unfortunately. But just, you know, I got in the studio, but my time was so fractured, I really didn't have more than, say, an hour here and there through that puppy period. And he's still a puppy, but he's not a little puppy, you know, he's getting it together now, little Jerry. Anyway, so I found that the Umber series was perfect. Besides, I really enjoyed doing them. I have a lot of really cool Pictorialist reference. Yeah, so I'm starting my drawing here with the raw umber, but I'm going to come in with some Mars black. There's no question about that. Get a little more, you know, contrast in there. I do think this is a pretty good composition, and sometimes I'm not so crazy about like these lakeside compositions where you get the little triangular wedge of lake, but this works well. And the key to getting that going on, all the problems were basically solved by the Pictorialist photographer, and all these guys were pretty much trained in art in some way, shape, or form. A lot of them were painters playing around with photography and trying to do photography to look like paintings. So when they compose their scenes, it's one of the reasons it takes less time to do a Pictorialist study in Umber, is because, you know, it's already a brilliant composition. So I don't have to sit there and invent a composition so much as I would with my own photographic references, which is, let's face it, what I do 98% of my paintings with. You know, it's not not too many photos out there. First of all, you got to be careful using other people's photography as a reference for your paintings. That could bite you in the bum, especially if you get, as uber famous as you're hoping to. In my case, I don't know. I don't really much mind. I have an inkling that the people that make it huge in the art world usually are connected in some way, shape, or form. And I say that with no rancor, just more as a statement of my observed fact. Although, I have a limited vantage point out here in the rear end of the planet, here in New Zealand, very sparsely populated, and even more so in the Northland town where I live. It's just not a lot of people, not a lot of culture. There is some culture, but it's not raging culture. Hey, anyway, give you some more. So you can see the painting. If you saw the little intro screen, you can see the painting. This is almost all of it. It went so quickly because 90% of it is like this silhouette action. The real challenge in this one was coming up with a value in the back that wasn't too light or too dark. And if I was going to go further and further with it, I might have done some scumbling and tweaking, but yeah, I really don't see the need because I thought I got an attractive result. And in fact, I think this is one of the more attractive paintings in the Umber series, to be honest. And I have a few more to present to you. I just did one the other day actually with some of this raw umber from Rembrandt, which is not actual raw umber. It's a synthetic variant of raw umber that apparently doesn't dry too quick on the palette. That was a problem with raw umber, boy. I mean, you squeeze too much in the palette. You use some one day, the next day you can bet it's got a skin, and 2 days after that it's just a little watch you can throw at somebody. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a little tip into composition of outdoor painting, and hopefully you've been enjoying this. This is his essay in the back, which is just called Conclusion. It should have been called Everything You Need to Know About Art, because it's brilliant, and I'm going to share it with you now. Now, I think, yeah, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit. That's okay. Page 1 of 34, because I was talking about this in one of my live sessions the other day, where he's talking about, like, this painting has a strong abstract quality. You don't need the details. When the abstract quality is really strong, that'll carry the entire painting, right? What an insight, But that's a great insight. You go, okay, well, now I know that, then how come my paintings aren't automatically better because I knew that? Well, it takes a while for you to develop discernment, enough discernment as a painter to, oh, there's Jerry, speak of the devil, to really be able to do a good abstract composition and to know when you have a good abstract composition. Yeah, and anyway, let's read a little bit from this. 134. Abstract quality comes from nobility in thought, intuitive judgment plus good craftsmanship or skill in building the picture. Such analysis is sound reasoning. Beauty in both the abstract concept and concrete visual structure is essential. The ideology must be complete. Unworthy ideas or gross errors in painting are always disturbing and unforgivable. I've read that many times now. Let's go to the other. Good work is only possible when circumstances allow all faculties to function properly. We're on page 135 now. Therefore, those overly ambitious souls should take heed and realize that art cannot be forced, but comes naturally and easily only when the right conditions exist. Enjoyment in painting should never be overwhelmed by ambition. The later has its worth, but not at the expense of the former. Ambition should be directed more towards developing the artistic faculties than towards production of pictures. It is not the size or number of paintings, but the degree of ability that counts. And this is something, I wanted to kind of talk about this forcing thing. We'll see if we get back in the book, because that reminds me of something I wanted to chat with you about. The creation of art, the creation of paintings, requires a certain amount of intellect, but more intellect does not equal better paintings. You cannot think a good painting into existence. And one of the insights I might share with you is think of a first of all, before we get into that, you have to do the painting from your whole person, from your heart and your head and connected to the universe. That's the only way a good painting can occur. And the analogy I was going to give you is, think of a tightrope walker. If a tightrope walker is, what they're doing is they're walking on a thin rope high above the ground. And what they're doing could result in their death or injury should they make a mistake. But you shouldn't think that if you think more as you're walking on the tightrope, like, oh, I must put my foot 3 inches, precisely 3 inches in front of the last step, that sort of thinking, and you will fall immediately. You have to have like a grace and an offhandedness about what you do. It has to be, like old Edgar was saying, it has to be an enjoyable exercise. It's work, but it needs to be play. And you need to be relaxed and quiet in your mind when you're doing it. And that's not to say you can't have music on, or a podcast, or an audiobook, or a friend even chatting with you. All of these things are fine, but that's at the surface. At the level that's actually present with the painting, it's really quiet. It's really silence. And that's where you're acting from. And that can't be forced. And that's one of the reasons why I'm always stressing experience as being the best teacher of painting. You can get, in fact, the best tip in this whole video, and you said, Mike, God, you say it every video, I want good paintings now. I'm trying to get some experience, but I want a good painting now, And understandable. I mean, why would you want to do something and fail and do something poor? But realize that it's a process. You can't be too invested in the outcome, and don't think you can force yourself to make better paintings. You just can't. All you're going to do is create work that is tight and uncomfortable to look at, unpleasant to look at, and you'll be making mistakes that are entirely egregious, but because your brain's all wrapped up in it, your ability to apprehend those mistakes is going to be compromised. Okay, it just is. So when you and I'm not a what you call religious person, but you really need to paint and act from a state of grace, okay? To borrow that idea from Christianity or whatever, that state of grace, where you're acting, you're moving, you're working, you have an intention, you're having ideas, you're having insights. Even your editorial mind is coming in and saying, oh, that doesn't work, I remember that doesn't work, things like that. But it can never be with any kind of stress. And if you think about it, the world doesn't really need another painting, right? Even if you are, freaking Picasso, the world doesn't need another Picasso. The number one reason to paint is to paint, and to get better at painting, to create something beautiful. And the world, there's plenty of people in the world that will appreciate and admire what you do, right? But that can't be the reason, because, oh, I'm doing this because I need to make a sale, or I'm doing this because so many people liked my last one and that really felt good, getting all that praise and all that commendations. I really want to do something so that I can get more praise and more commendations. That is all the top of your brain. It's all the top of your mind, and it won't produce what you're looking for, which is a good result. And you won't get a good result if you don't have pure motivations. And the purest of motivations is to create something beautiful, to express yourself in a true and honest manner, to move through the painting like you would proceed with how you would eat a meal. You've got the beautiful meal in front. It's backwards here. With the meal, you start with something beautiful and delicious, and then you eat it all up and you feel satisfied. With a painting, it's a bit of the reverse. You're building something beautiful and delicious to the eye, right? So we didn't read much from Edgar, but I like him because he sparks, and he reminds me that I really want to talk to you about this forcing thing. It's a problem, and there are some things in the world you can do that, where you can push a result into existence. You can study your way into a good result, but not painting. Painting, you need to do another painting. Turn off the video, and turn off the computer or whatever, and go do a painting right now, okay? And I'll be back real soon with another video. Until then, Thank you so much for watching this one. Check out the members area and my website and stuff. And I'll be back real soon with another video for you. Meanwhile, please take good care of yourself and your family, all your loved ones. Try to love your enemies too, and stay out of trouble.